Did you know that certain exercises can actually increase your risk of heart problems as you age? It's true. Some activities that seem harmless can put unnecessary strain on your heart, especially for seniors. Today we're discussing exercises that might strain your heart. Staying active is crucial, but not all exercises are heart-friendly. We'll explore safer alternatives to keep you healthy and strong. Ready to protect your heart? Let's begin. One of the most pervasive and potentially dangerous beliefs out there, especially within the senior community, is the idea that any form of exercise, as long as you're moving, is inherently good for you. We often hear blanket statements like, just get moving, or any activity is better than no activity. While the sentiment behind these phrases is generally positive, promoting an active lifestyle, it unfortunately overlooks a critical nuance: the suitability and safety of specific exercises, particularly concerning heart health in older adults. It's this very misconception that can lead well-meaning individuals down a path that, instead of strengthening their heart, might actually be straining it significantly. This belief often stems from a younger person's perspective on fitness, where the body might be more resilient and forgiving. However, as we age, our cardiovascular system undergoes natural changes. Arteries may become slightly stiffer, the heart muscle itself might not respond to demands with the same vigor it once did, and recovery times can lengthen. Ignoring these physiological realities and blindly adopting any exercise routine, perhaps one seen on television or followed by a younger acquaintance, can be a recipe for trouble. The no pain, no gain mantra, if applied incorrectly, can be particularly detrimental to a senior's heart, pushing it beyond its safe operational limits without providing the intended benefits. Think about it this way. You wouldn't use a sledgehammer to crack a delicate nut, would you? Similarly, applying overly strenuous or improperly executed exercises to a heart that requires careful nurturing can lead to problems. The misconception isn't that exercise is bad. It's that all exercises are universally beneficial regardless of age or individual health conditions. This is where we need to introduce a more discerning approach, understanding that the type, intensity, duration, and form of exercise are all critical variables that need to be adjusted for senior wellness, especially when it comes to protecting that precious cardiac muscle from undue stress or potential injury. Therefore, the first step in our journey today is to dismantle this common misconception. We need to shift our mindset from all exercise is good to the right exercise is good. This subtle but profound change in perspective is fundamental to safeguarding your heart. It's about being smart with our choices, listening to our bodies, and understanding that tailored, appropriate physical activity is the key to reaping the cardiovascular benefits without risking setbacks. This understanding will form the foundation for identifying and avoiding those exercises that might be doing more harm than good to your heart's long-term health and function. So, what exactly happens when an exercise isn't quite right for a senior's heart? The term heart strain might sound a bit vague, so let's clarify what we mean in this context. When we engage in physical activity, our heart naturally works harder to pump oxygen-rich blood to our muscles. This is a normal and healthy response. However, certain types of exercises, especially those that are too intense, too sudden, or involve improper techniques like holding your breath, can cause an excessively rapid increase in heart rate and blood pressure. For a senior heart, which may have less elasticity or underlying, perhaps undiagnosed conditions, this sudden surge can be particularly taxing and potentially dangerous over time. Imagine your heart as a highly efficient pump. If you suddenly demand it to work at triple its normal capacity without any warm-up, or if the load is simply too heavy for its current condition, it can struggle. This struggle can manifest in various ways, not always immediately obvious. It might not be a dramatic, chest-clutching event, but rather a cumulative effect. Over time, repeatedly subjecting the heart to these undue stresses can contribute to issues like an irregular heartbeat, an increased risk of palpitations, or even exacerbate pre-existing conditions like hypertension or coronary artery disease. It's the slow, steady drip of inappropriate stress that we're trying to avoid here. Furthermore, some exercises can lead to what's known as the Valsalva maneuver, especially if they involve heavy lifting or straining while holding your breath. This action significantly increases pressure within the chest cavity, which can momentarily decrease blood flow back to the heart and then cause a rapid surge in blood pressure when the breath is released. For seniors whose blood vessels may be less compliant, these abrupt fluctuations in blood pressure can put a significant strain on both the heart and the vascular system. This isn't the kind of stimulation we want for a heart that we're trying to keep healthy and strong for the long haul. Understanding this potential for strain is not meant to make you fearful of exercise, but rather to make you more aware and selective. It highlights why certain movements, which might seem perfectly fine on the surface, could be problematic. It's about recognizing that the goal of exercise for seniors should be focused on sustainable, moderate challenges that build strength and endurance gradually, rather than on pushing the cardiovascular system to its absolute limits with high-impact or overly strenuous activities. This awareness allows us to choose exercises that gently condition the heart, rather than those that might shock or overload it, ensuring our fitness journey is a heart-healthy one. All right. Let's dive into our first specific exercise that seniors should approach with extreme caution, or better yet, avoid altogether, especially if not done with perfect form and consideration for heart health. This exercise is the classic, rapid, full sit-up or even aggressive crunches. For decades, sit-ups were hailed as the go-to move for a strong core, and you'd see people performing them vigorously, aiming for high repetitions. However, for seniors, this particular movement, especially when done quickly or with improper technique, can pose several risks, not just to the back and neck, but surprisingly, to the cardiovascular system as well. The primary issue with rapid full sit-ups lies in the sudden, forceful exertion they often demand. When you explosively contract your abdominal muscles to pull your entire torso off the floor, you can inadvertently trigger that Valsalva maneuver we just discussed. Many people tend to hold their breath during the most strenuous part of the sit-up, the upward phase. This breath holding, combined with the intense muscular effort, can cause a sharp spike in blood pressure. For a senior whose cardiovascular system might already be dealing with age-related changes or conditions like hypertension, these recurrent abrupt increases in blood pressure are far from ideal and can place significant strain on the heart. Moreover, the jerky, fast motion often associated with trying to complete many sit-ups quickly can lead to an overly rapid heart rate increase. Instead of a gradual warm-up for the cardiovascular system, the heart is suddenly asked to work much harder, much faster. This isn't the kind of controlled, progressive stress that strengthens the heart muscle safely. Instead, it can feel more like a shock to the system, potentially leading to palpitations or an uncomfortable racing heartbeat. The focus on speed and quantity over quality of movement is a common pitfall with this exercise, and it's this aspect that particularly endangers heart health. Beyond the direct cardiovascular strain, rapid sit-ups also carry a high risk of injury to the neck and lower back. Poor form, such as yanking on the head or using momentum rather than core strength, is incredibly common. These musculoskeletal injuries can lead to pain and reduced mobility, which in turn can make it harder to engage in other beneficial, heart-healthy activities like walking or swimming. So, the risk isn't just isolated to the heart. It's a compound problem where one risky exercise can have a domino effect on overall physical well-being, indirectly impacting cardiovascular fitness by limiting other safe activities. Let's delve a little deeper into why these rapid full sit-ups can be so problematic for a senior's heart. The sudden demand for blood flow to the working abdominal muscles, coupled with the compromised breathing pattern and spikes in blood pressure, creates a challenging environment for the heart. It's like asking an engine to go from 0 to 60 in a split second, repeatedly. Over time, this kind of stress doesn't build resilience in the same way that more controlled aerobic exercises do. Instead, it can contribute to arterial stiffness or place undue load on heart valves, especially if there are any pre-existing, perhaps undiagnosed vulnerabilities present. This is not to say all core work is bad, but the here is key. The intensity of the movement, particularly when performed in a rapid-fire sequence, can also lead to an oxygen debt in the muscles much quicker than in more rhythmic, aerobic activities. When the body is working anaerobically, without sufficient oxygen, for extended periods due to high intensity, byproducts like lactic acid build up. While this is a normal part of intense exercise, For seniors, maintaining this state, especially with compromised breathing during sit-ups, can create more cardiovascular stress than benefit. The heart has to work even harder to try and clear these byproducts and deliver oxygen, all while dealing with fluctuating blood pressures from the straining. So, what are the safer, more heart-friendly alternatives for strengthening your core? Thankfully, there are many. Instead of rapid full sit-ups, consider exercises like pelvic tilts. These are performed lying on your back with knees bent, gently pressing your lower back into the floor and tilting your pelvis. This engages the deep core muscles without the strain on the neck or the dangerous spikes in blood pressure. Another excellent option is a modified plank, perhaps starting on your knees or holding for shorter durations, ensuring you breathe steadily throughout the exercise. These movements build core stability and strength in a controlled manner. Bird dog exercises, where you start on all fours and extend an opposite arm and leg, are also fantastic for core strength, balance, and coordination, all while promoting steady breathing and controlled movement. The key with all these alternatives is to focus on slow, deliberate movements, proper form, and continuous, even breathing. This approach ensures that you are strengthening your core, which is vital for overall stability and preventing falls, without putting your heart at unnecessary risk. Remember, the goal is to support your body, including your heart, with mindful, beneficial exercise, not to challenge it in ways that could be detrimental. Lifting heavy weights can be alluring, but poses significant risks for seniors. Heavy squats, deadlifts, and bench presses can spike blood pressure, straining the heart. Seniors should adapt their routines to avoid injury and maintain heart health. Strength training is crucial for seniors to maintain independence, bone density, and metabolic health. Focus on lifting weights safely and effectively. Use lighter weights with more repetitions. Resistance bands are versatile and safe. Bodyweight exercises like squats and push-ups are effective. Focus on controlled movements and proper form. Enhance your health and vitality with smart, safe strength training. Let's talk about high-intensity interval training, or HIIT. Short bursts of effort followed by brief recovery periods. It's efficient for burning calories and improving fitness. But for seniors, it can be risky. The intense effort can strain the heart. Seniors need to approach HIIT with caution. It's about understanding the stress on the body. Recovery is crucial for older adults. The go hard or go home mentality isn't always wise. Prioritize long-term cardiovascular wellness. Not all interval training is out. The key is avoiding unaccustomed intensity. Consult your doctor first. Moderate intensity. Continuous training, MICT, is a safer alternative. Think brisk walks, steady cycling, or comfortable swimming. This provides cardiovascular benefits without extreme heart rate peaks. Always listen to your body and consult your doctor if needed. Consistency with moderate intensity activities is key for most seniors. Fitness is a lifelong journey. Pace yourself for a healthy heart. Many seniors engage in chores like shoveling snow or yard work, not realizing the cardiac risks. These tasks can be strenuous, especially in cold weather, causing sudden spikes in heart rate and blood pressure. The combination of heavy exertion and cold can trigger cardiac events, even in those without known heart issues. It's a hidden danger in common tasks like snow shoveling and yard work. So, if these common outdoor chores can be so risky, what's a senior to do? Does the driveway stay snow-covered and the garden untended? Not at all. It's about approaching these tasks with awareness, preparation, and a willingness to modify your approach, or seek help when needed. The most important thing is to recognize that these are not just simple chores. They are physically demanding activities that require the same, if not more, caution than a formal exercise session, especially given the often uncontrolled environment, like cold weather, in which they are performed. Your heart health should always be the top priority. One of the safest options, especially for heavy snow removal, is to hire someone to do it for you if your budget allows. Consider it an investment in your health. If that's not feasible, using a snowblower instead of a shovel can significantly reduce the physical strain. While still requiring some effort, it's generally less taxing on the cardiovascular system than manually lifting and throwing heavy snow. If you must shovel, choose a smaller, lighter shovel. Lift smaller amounts of snow, and push the snow rather than lifting it whenever possible. Take frequent breaks, at least every 10 to 15 minutes, to allow your heart rate to come down and to catch your breath. When it comes to any vigorous yard work, whether it's raking, digging, or mowing, the principle of breaking the task into smaller, more manageable chunks is crucial. Don't try to do it all in one go. Spread the work out over several days if necessary. Warm up your muscles before you start with some light stretching or a short walk, just as you would before exercising. Dress appropriately for the weather. In cold conditions, wear layers to stay warm, but be mindful of overheating once you start working. And critically, stay hydrated. Dehydration can also put extra stress on your heart, so drink water before, during, and after your work. Most importantly, listen to your body. This cannot be overstated. If you start to feel any chest pain or pressure, unusual shortness of breath, dizziness, lightheadedness, or extreme fatigue, stop immediately. Don't try to push through it. These could be warning signs of a serious cardiac issue. It's always better to err on the side of caution and rest. And if the symptoms persist or are severe, seek medical attention promptly. Remember, no chore is worth risking your heart health. By being smart, prepared, and attentive to your body's signals, you can manage outdoor tasks safely and keep your heart healthy for all seasons of life. All right, folks, let's dive into our fifth exercise on the list. And this one might surprise some of you because it often gets a lot of positive press for building strength and bone density. I'm talking about heavy weightlifting. Now, I understand the appeal. I truly do. We all want to feel strong, capable, and maintain our independence as we age. And lifting weights seems like a direct path to that. However, heavy weightlifting for seniors needs extreme caution. The strain on your heart can be significant and dangerous. It's not just about muscles. It's about the engine that powers everything. Your blood pressure can spike, putting undue stress on the heart. For seniors, these fluctuations can trigger arrhythmias or other cardiac complications. Strength training should focus on functional fitness, balance, and overall health, not setting new personal records. Remember, your health journey is a marathon, not a sprint. If lifting heavy weights risks your heart, what's the alternative? Should seniors avoid resistance training? Absolutely not. Strength is crucial for mobility, metabolism, and quality of life. Focus on consistency, proper form, and appropriate intensity. Opt for lighter weights with more repetitions. Resistance bands are versatile and heart-friendly. Always listen to your body and prioritize proper breathing. Consult your doctor or a physical therapist before starting any new exercise regimen. High-intensity interval training, or HIIT, is popular for its quick workouts and calorie burn. But for seniors, especially those with heart conditions, it can be risky. Traditional HIIT involves intense bursts of effort, which can strain the heart. Seniors need gradual conditioning to avoid cardiovascular stress. Always consult a healthcare professional before starting HIIT. Now, please don't misunderstand me. The concept of varying the intensity of your workouts isn't inherently bad. In fact, introducing some gentle variations can be beneficial for keeping your exercise routine engaging and can help improve cardiovascular responsiveness. However, for seniors, the execution of anything resembling interval training needs to be vastly different from the high-octane versions often promoted. The goal here is to enhance heart health and overall fitness in a sustainable and safe manner, not to push your body to its absolute limits in pursuit of extreme athletic performance. It's about finding a rhythm that challenges you appropriately without overstraining your precious heart. A far safer and highly effective foundation for cardiovascular health in seniors is moderate-intensity, steady-state cardio, or what we sometimes call MIS. This includes activities like brisk walking where you can still hold a conversation, cycling at a comfortable and consistent pace, swimming, or using an elliptical machine at a moderate effort level for a sustained period, say 30 to 45 minutes. This type of exercise helps strengthen the heart muscle gradually, improves circulation, and helps manage blood pressure without the sudden jarring demands of high-intensity bursts. It builds that essential aerobic base, which is crucial before even thinking about introducing more variable intensity. If you and your doctor feel you're ready to introduce some variability after establishing a good fitness base, think about a much gentler form of interval training. This might involve, for example, walking at your usual brisk pace for 3 to 5 minutes, and then increasing your pace slightly, to a point where you feel you're working a bit harder but are still well within your comfort zone for 1 to 2 minutes. Then, you would return to your normal pace for a longer recovery period. The work intervals are less intense, and the recovery intervals are longer and more complete. This is a world away from the all-out sprints of traditional HIIT, and is much more appropriate and safer for the senior cardiovascular system. Most importantly, any foray into interval training, no matter how gentle, should only be undertaken after explicit clearance from your doctor, especially if you have any history of heart disease, high blood pressure, or other chronic conditions. They understand your specific health profile and can advise if this type of training is suitable for you. And if you do get the green light, start very, very slowly and gradually. Pay close attention to how your body feels. There should be no chest pain, dizziness, or extreme breathlessness. The mantra here is gentle progression, always prioritizing the safety and well-being of your heart above all else. Let's discuss a hidden risk to your heart health, especially for seniors. Sudden strenuous outdoor chores like shoveling snow can be dangerous. Vigorous raking of wet leaves, heavy gardening, or starting a stubborn lawnmower. These tasks can strain your heart, leading to serious issues. Be cautious and aware of the risks. How do we navigate outdoor tasks without putting our hearts in jeopardy? Acknowledge potential risks and adopt safer strategies. Approach activities with caution and a plan. Prioritize cardiovascular well-being. Work with your body and environment. Break tasks into manageable segments. Take frequent breaks and stay hydrated. Consider alternatives for strenuous tasks. Listen to your body and stop if needed. Your heart will thank you for being cautious. All right, everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep into exercises that, while often praised, can pose significant risks to senior heart health. Today, we're tackling number 8 on our list, and it's one that has gained a lot of traction in the fitness world. Intense interval sprints. You've likely heard about high-intensity interval training, or HIIT, and how it can be a quick way to boost fitness. Many younger individuals swear by it for its efficiency. However, for seniors, these intense sprints can put dangerous strain on the heart. It's crucial to understand that what works for a 30-year-old might not be suitable or safe as we age. Modified interval training can be beneficial, but avoid all-out sprints. For the sake of your long-term heart health, reconsider intense sprints. For safer, heart-friendly exercise, consider moderate intensity intervals, alternate brisk walking with slower recovery-paced walking. Listen to your body. If you feel excessive breathlessness, chest discomfort, or dizziness, stop and rest. Exercise should invigorate, not distress. Warm up and cool down are essential for a safe routine. Choose wisdom and moderation over extreme exertion. Stay active and healthy without gambling with your heart. Now, we've arrived at the exercise that I believe might surprise many of you. Prolonged, intense static stretching can pose an unexpected challenge to your heart. Holding a deep stretch for several minutes, especially with discomfort, can have cardiovascular consequences. It can cause blood pressure spikes and dips, stressing the heart. Stretch smarter and safer, especially as our bodies need more thoughtful care. How can we ensure our stretching routines support our heart health? Adopt smart stretching strategies. Prioritize dynamic stretching as part of your warm-up. These active movements take your joints and muscles through a full range of motion. They help warm up the muscles and increase blood flow. For static stretches, aim for shorter durations after your main workout. Hold a gentle stretch for 15 to 30 seconds. Never stretch to the point of pain. Feel a gentle pull or tension, but never sharp pain. If it hurts, you're pushing too far. Breathe continuously and deeply throughout your stretches. Conscious, steady breathing helps keep you relaxed. It promotes better oxygen flow and muscle release. Consider practices like Tai Chi or gentle yoga. These disciplines incorporate flowing movements and mindful stretching. They encourage body awareness and respect for personal limits. These can improve flexibility and provide a calming effect. Stretching isn't harmful. It's about the method and intensity. Avoid extreme intensity and duration to prevent cardiovascular challenges. Opt for dynamic warm-ups, shorter static holds, and deep breathing. Balance effective stretching with cardiovascular safety for overall well-being. Well, there we have it. We've journeyed through quite a few exercises to avoid for heart health in your senior years. The most important takeaway is choosing heart-friendly activities as you age. Your heart deserves activities that support its strength and efficiency. This isn't about limiting your life. It's about enhancing it. Embrace movement that makes you feel good, strong, and safe. Thank you for joining me at Health Quest. And here's to your vibrant, heart-healthy future.